Trinity Sunday is a most interesting moment in the life of the church to start my sabbatical upon and my time apart. And really, there are a lot of reasons that I somehow timed this so perfectly. I began serving here on Father's Day / Trinity Sunday 6 years ago. No joke. My candidating sermon has this as the notes at the top. Father's Day, Relay for Life, Pride Month, Everybody Always. That was the book study at the time. My first exegetical seminary papers were written on Proverbs 8. And we could not have chosen a more perfect day to hear, I have more to say to you, but not yet, from Jesus' farewell story, weaving through the Gospel of John. It's clear it is a great Sunday to tie it all back together, or at least attempt to create a weaving, though it might just end up looking like a bundle of knots. Let's be honest, this is Beth after all. The Trinity is one of those never to be understood yet always before us doctrines of the church, central to our denomination and our connectivity to other traditions. We must participate in the Trinity as part of our church engagement. Now, that doesn't mean that we all have to believe in it, understand it, or be able to say something particularly intelligent about it, but we do participate among it. This weekend, during the annual meeting, the last annual meeting of the Penn Central Conference, before we moved to Keystone, the keynote speaker, a guest from the Cornerstone Fund, a UCC financial ministry, spent some time on God math. And she was talking about how investing creates opportunities for others to get loans, who then pay back and make money on the investment, all in an infinity figure 8 loop, or maybe a zero with a belt. But the same interconnectivity is at the heart of church life, that Trinitarian formula, that God math that never adds up yet always is perfect. There is a flow from the source and back to the source that is key to the Trinity and to feeling fulfilled and up to the task of leading the church. So as we move into this flow towards the summer, I wanted to take a moment to dig in on that Trinitarian connection so that we might find a sense of life and empowerment in our moment. This moment is a little weird for me, friends. I am a kind of both feet all at once person. I'm going in a lake, I'm not walking in the beach, I'm going off the dock. And that's true of the way I live my ministry with you, too. I have been all in here since we arrived with a U-Haul packed with our stuff 6 years ago, and we are continuing to co-create some amazing parts of the world together that I don't entirely know how to step away from. One commenter has written about the Trinity that Christian life is to participate in this life of Trinity, to actualize its implications for believers to embody in their lives. I embody life among you, and you embody life with me. Several commenters, theologians, have written extensively on how we have yet to understand what and why the Trinity is even a core belief system of such an intricate web of being that is the global church. So it's a rather mixed bag if you look through the literature. One thing I came upon this week that I didn't have back in 2019 when I attempted to walk up here and explain Trinity to you was Richard Rohr's 2016 book on the Trinity, The Divine Dance. When Sam's father passed away, everyone was, of course, offered the chance to take items that they desired to keep as mementos. And Pete had, an extensive library of religious and theological works, especially for a non-pastor person. I guess I know where the library tendencies tend to come from in that family. So this week, I had to clean up my office. You all have seen my office. And I went to put all of the books from Pete's library that had been sitting in a box on my floor onto my shelves and decided that this might be the time to see what this book might offer for me for an organizing Trinitarian theology for a 15-minute sermon, which by word count is more than 15 minutes. Gotta give me grace. In the foreword, William Paul Young offers this interesting poetic starting place that I say to you as well. One alone is not by nature love or laugh or sing. One alone may be prime mover, unknowable, indivisible, all, and if everything is all and all is one, one is alone, self-centered, not love, not laugh, not sing. Two, yin-yang, dark light, male-female, contending dualism, affirming good, evil, and striving toward balance. At best, face-to-face, but never community. Three, face-to-face, to face, community, ambiguity, mystery, love for the other and the other's love, within other-centered, self-giving, loving, singing, laughter. A fourth is created, ever loved and loving. There are some really remarkable bits about this here that stood out to me. For one, it is some of the very few pages of this book, that I know you can't see it, you'll have to look at it later, that are not written on, highlighted, noted, and then noted over top of the writing in the book. Somehow he missed this poem. But also, that between the lines, one thing we can say about being Trinitarians is that it's an ancient workaround for the binaryizing of our world. Whether that is in gender, racial, economic, or social realities, Trinity means there is no single on-top group or leadership, nor can there possibly be an either or. And we are just sleeping on that radicalness. Take that to pride parades and celebrations in the halls of government this year. We believe in a God who is beyond all either or identification. There are no absolutes here. And then, at best, face-to-face but never community. That is a call to the church for this moment in time. Our Trinitarian heritage requires us to seek more than a my side, your side, I'm right, you're wrong attitude. And then one is alone. That feels like now, too. So many people are lonely, though we live surrounded by other individuals. But here in this poem, it makes space for God to feel alone. If there is no divine circle dance of three, God is alone. And if we believe in a lonely and doomed divine being that invited life into existence, what kind of world would that origin make? Certainly not the one filled with delight at little baby lady wisdom, one who encourages the play of inhabitants of humanity. So Richard Rohr, Catholic father, posits a vision of Trinity that says whatever is going on in God is a flow, a radical relatedness, a perfect communion between three, a circle dance of love. By envisioning a circle dance, he makes the statement that true power is circular or spiral, not hierarchical. Trinity says that God's power is not domination, threat, or coercion, but instead is of a totally different nature, one that even Jesus' followers have not yet adjusted to. If the Father does not dominate the Son, and the Son does not dominate the Holy Spirit, and the Spirit does not dominate the Father or the Son, there's no domination in God. No domination. In a world of temporary dominational patterns, no domination in a world pushing for the centralization of power into the hands of a few, no domination in a world of global climate-based disaster and destruction, it is impossible, almost, to see that world as approaching when we see and experience it so tainted by global expectations and beliefs. And yet, Rohr invites us to rethink all those expectations, in light of a centralized and critically celebrated Trinitarian belief, saying that all divine power is shared power, which should have entirely changed Christian politics and relationships. It still can change all Christian politics and relationships if we let it. Mahatma Gandhi once said that when I despair, I remember that all through history the way of truth and love has always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Think of it, always. The God that we believe in, whether we can explain it or not, is one that is completely unusable for manipulation or cajoling. A God who is immediately available to the sincere seeker always. And it is this sincere seeker that is needed to listen for the spirit of truth that Jesus offers his disciples. The one who will come must be sought with vulnerability so that we can remain responsive to God's urging without attempting to wrest control from the divine and claim domination over community. My hope is that in this summer, you and I might focus on that posture of being a sincere seeker to find where our beings are being called. Rohr continues on to say that the head does dangerous and stupid things when it hijacks our nervous system. To operate out of a head disconnected from gut and heart is to court disconnection, even disaster. And as I ponder on that disconnection from the gut, it's a reminder that you will never walk alone, quite literally. What is it about the actual physical gut? It can contain 100,000 microorganisms. And thus, every individual is always a we. So the road may be dangerous or unexpected or rocky to travel, but we must seek our connectivities as we reach and search for the divine in that circle dance of Trinity. We must be willing to let go of control and reach out, grasping in the dark if necessary to find our next handhold on this journey. This is a truth that the Trinity offers us as a community. When we feel at our wits' end, when we encounter difficult moments, when we find ourselves falling back upon those who are standing ready to catch us, will they be friends, family, chosen family, church family? They will be there. Rohr says that suffering is the only thing that's strong enough to break down our control systems. It's the only thing that can help us break from being in charge. God normally has to lead you to the limits of your private resources. Some event, person, or moral situation must force you to admit, I cannot do this in my present state. This is our suffering. And I don't expect that any of you will be suffering this summer while I am gone. In fact, I hope that you will feel empowered by this summer. But in finding the limits of our private resources as a congregation again, in trying the new in this season, we cultivate places for suffering, a gentle kind of suffering, because it is about growth in God, rather than some self-deluded posturing. We are continuing to co-create some amazing parts of the world together, and I am consistently grateful for that walk of discipleship with you. My hope is that we both have a chance to grow into the new in this time, and that we feel the renewal of mission and vision that is at the heart of a sabbatical period. I don't entirely know how to step away from what has been on my mind every single day for 6 years. And yet, we're going to. We're going to honor the commitments I made with you on that other Trinity Sunday, and we're going to find the places that my journey has wandered because we've developed a world together. Jesus says to his disciples, I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. And while I'm sure you could bear what I have to say in this moment, this opening is an opportunity to remember that we are all in this for the long haul together. And separation and distance and an open eye to seek the new isn't going to change that love that brings this church together. There's a tension between Jesus wanting to say more before he departs and the disciples' ability to be ready to live into all the implications of God's revelation. Reconciliation of this tension only comes from the Spirit, and that Spirit goes with you to do some creative and engaging things here in this town, in this community, in these lives. And that Spirit goes with me to seek a contemplative posture, to cultivate ways of listening for God in new and maybe slightly scary opportunities. Courage, determination are hallmarks of the kind of power that church can create, especially if we take that Trinitarian, community-driven, vulnerability-showing attitude that's offered this week. Loving, singing, laughter. A fourth is created, ever loved and ever loving. Let's do it again in September. Amen.